So up first we have 7 CP Light Warrior of Light, which is the light legend of this. So it is Warrior of Light. It's got the job Warrior of Light. It's a 7 CP 9k that, due to cast, can reveal the top 5 cards and play 2 characters of cost 3 among them to the field and return the other cards to the bottom of the deck in any order. It has an S effect that says, till the end of the turn, Warrior of Light and forwards of cost 3 we control gain the Fortress 4 cannot be chosen by opponent summons or abilities. Nope.
I think that S effect will never ever play, I don't think.
Well, is he expecting to play more than one of these?
Is it bad I want Behemoth K to win that fight?
The problem is that obviously you compare this card to something like Kirin, which is I've got some quite strong feelings about this card, but it's like Kirin reveal top 5. You only play one character, but both of these specify that they have to be an exact cost. Kirin being cost 4, this being cost 3 exactly, which just opens your window of whiffing massively.
Yeah.
And this one can whiff twice. Whiffing once isn't going to feel great because you're going to basically be spending 4 CP on a 9k, which is not awesome. But if you whiff both of them, then you spent 7 CP on a 9k that's a light card, which has clogged up your hand, so you've had to play it, and you're going to be a very, very sad human.
Like, the dream is Axstar, isn't it? You want to hit your Axstar off of it, 3 CP Axstar, but then plays another 3 CP, and you just go down that line of craziness.
Yeah, I mean, you play this in a
card.
deck where you're guaranteed to hit for sure, but
Yeah.
when do you play this is the thing.
Yeah, I think when you look back at actually when we had it up in that 7 CP Wall of Earth one, when it came out, it saw zero play. It was just I think this has got that same thing of it's so restrictive. They built this in such a way that I don't know. I mean, they really tried hard to not make this break the game.
It does say characters, so it can play monsters, it can play backups, but it wouldn't have killed them on 7 CP to make this say 3 or less. I really don't think so.
7, even if it said reveal 7, I think you could have got away with that.
I think really revealing 7 would have actually been.
I don't think.
Huge...
I think this would need to reveal 10.
No, like the math is weird on this. I could be wrong, but like I think even if it said reveal top 7, I think it might have then seen play. But light and dark cards are historically. You need to, if you're playing them, you better be playing them for a damn good reason.
You can't do the math on this because you don't know how many cards are in the deck and how many you've drawn by the time that you can do this.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, like a turn 1 flip or something like that. Like if you had like this in hand and you had nothing else, slam it, try your luck.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Opus 7 Legend Agrius, but without being able to make it work.
Agrius would always flip until it hits, though.
Yeah.
So you played that deck in the way that you only played multiples of her and like 4-drop backups to search her.
It could definitely do that, though, right?
But worse. It's more restrictive.
Yeah, but this could do that. I wouldn't mind if it flipped until it hit 2 3s.
Yeah, that would have been fine. I don't know why it doesn't, but...
Well, let's move on to Sky Serpent General Rugged Gene. Now, when I first read this, I thought it was absolute dog because I didn't read the fact that it had all the keywords.
Yeah, he's first. Like
yeah, too many words.
So when he attacks, he can give what he's got and 1k to anything, which is it's pretty good. I think it's pretty cool.
He can spread them, which is important. The important thing, he's really good at spreading. I genuinely think this card's kind of sick, and I do want to see what I could do with him. I think he's just got a lot of interesting things that he could possibly do. Like even if it's just like you play this guy down and you haste the 1 CP Fury, and there you go. That's 5 CP you've spent. You give the Fury in first strike, and he can attack twice, and your opponent isn't going to want to block 2 9k first strike Braves. The Fury can attack twice.
If nothing else, he can give himself 3k.
If he wants to, yeah.
Branded the budget wall, but he is actually I think more like that Ignis legend of he just says exactly what he says on the tin, and he will absolutely make sure that two of your attackers you're going to get 2 points of damage. If you play him, you're going to guarantee No one's blocking you. No one's touching you. You should get 2 points of damage if you get to attack phase.
Fallon says this is how you win pre-release, and I agree. To be honest with you, I think this is a massive try it out, and I'd give this the seal. To be honest, I think it's cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I put my personal seal.
Could you do this with White Tiger Lassie Klima and just give her all the words? How big would she become?
That's how you win pre-release. Oh wow, yeah. So that's she gains
11k bigger.
She gains 3k per, so that's 9k on top of her 8. Yeah, she becomes 17k with all the keywords.
I just got my Opus
XXI boys. I put that pull up to a $5. We've done this.
We solved it.
We've won Final Fantasy TCG.
Then next up we have Darkness Manifest. So 7 CP, 9k, and you can pay 2 and remove 1 fire, wind, earth, and water character in your break zone from the game. They have to be separate. You can't just do Warrior of Light to cast Darkness Manifest. At the beginning of your main phase 1, during each of your turns, Darkness Manifest deals your opponent 1 point of damage. And when Darkness Manifest leaves the field, choose 1 character to break it.
Good.
Yeah.
It fits into Soirees absolutely perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, Dale and Phelan, you've played a lot of Soirees. What do you think of this?
Definitely good potential. Yeah, it's the Soirees is the easiest deck to do it in, isn't it?
It is slow though.
Yeah.
But it's also another lightning rod. Like, your opponent's got so many things it already wants to kill on your side.
Someone's forced. They're forced to kill it.
Opponent does 1 CP Sahagin. There you go.
It makes your backups in your break zone worth something now. That if you've already played a Tyro, you've now got another Tyro in there. It's now fodder for the darkness.
Oh no, I was wrong. Sahagin's a 3 or less. But it is super bounceable, I think, as well. So.
Well, leaves the field, break a character.
Yeah.
And then you play it again next time.
Oh yeah, true. No, it's cool. I'm sure that people smarter than me will figure this one out.
It's got a potential, this card, for sure.
Jack Garland, the gold signature for this one. He's okay. He's a 3 CP 9k dark job stranger that's also Garland, which is technically, but technically not.
A different Garland.
Brave, and when he enters the field, you may search for 1 category Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin forward and add it to your hand. For dull, you can choose 1 dark character and break it. And then Jack Garland deals you 1 point of damage. I don't know how valid the dark character thing is.
Why does it say search forward? Like, come on, it's a dark character.
Yeah. You can sort of color fix into anything from the other forwards, I suppose. And it's actually better than just getting, his 4 friends. He can get the chaoses, which are significantly better.
Yeah.
I think the dark hero and legend should have been swapped, because personally that's not legend worthy.
But it's a Jack Garland, so
I think it is.
I
think it is.
I've been saying this since this card got revealed. I was really hoping one of the Stranger Paradise cards, like the Astos or something, would have something to do with that, because that last line of text, choose a dark character, break it, Jack Garland does you a point of damage. Like, for one, dark character is so specific. Why does it have that clause of dealing your point of damage as well? You'd think there would be something like with one of the other cards that is going to be able to do something else with that, whether it's like make a forward a dark character till the end of the turn or something like that. I don't know if that'd be too crazy.
I don't know the last time I saw like a dark 2CP chaos, the color fixing back up. So I
think seeing this on your turn 1 might hurt you, because you're right, it's only forwards. I think if you have 1 to 3 backups, this card suddenly becomes so much better.
You can only search for Princess Sarah, even if that is the case, but that's still absolutely fine. Even if you got the Princess Sarah on the field, you can use it for her ability.
Maybe future-proofing it a wee bit, but I do agree. They were maybe a wee bit too harsh on them for now.
You're exactly right, though. If you do open this, how many of these do you play? If it's low amount, then how?
Is this just
if you're playing a low amount of them, like, then how do you search this to then, because you're not going to play Spiritus. It's, I don't know.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but is this not just way worse than the light starter Tidus that came out that could search like Waka or Yuna or the other one? It's just way worse, isn't it? It's 3 CP. It doesn't have EX burst, the Jack. It can search. It searches everything you need it to. The Tidus, but it also has a relevant line of text where it can attack and give buffs, or it becomes fucking cheaper when you have other 10 forwards down anyway. Like it's just worse in every way than
I'm gonna
Sealed card. This is just a sealed card only, I think. Just looking at it, SOPFFO.
It's a legend, so it's not a sealed card. Honestly,
I just can't see it really being
like when you look at it compared to the 4 CP Barts that we just got in the starter. When he enters the field, he gets 1 character DFF other than Light or Dark at your hand and gain a crystal. Then you remove Barts in the break zone, you gain a crystal, do all that. He was 4 CP 8k.
We will skip straight to Barts after this, actually, because you said that.
Sorry, yeah.
I think that is a good point, and there's a good place to leave it. I think I would say with Jack Garland, I would like to file this directly under "Prove Us Wrong." I would love to be wrong about this.
I would agree. I really would agree.
So we'll go straight to the end of the starter deck stuff on this, but there's a great place to start with Barts, this is dead exciting. I absolutely love this card. He's got the Job Wanderer / Warrior of Light, so he's dead searchable as well. When Barts enters the field, you may search for 1 category DFF character other than Light or Dark. Which means he can't get Chaos. Well, he couldn't get Chaos anyway, but he can't get Cosmos, which is even worse. But when you search anything, you gain a crystal. You can remove Barts in the break zone from the game to gain a crystal, and you're going to do this if you control 2 or more category DFF forwards and if Barts is in the break zone. The cool thing about this is that you can search straight for Ice Shantoto and have it online.
Every game we've seen this come out, it's been so impactful.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy how much work this does.
The worst thing about him is that he's called Barts, which means that he cannot make Bart's Boko become a thing again.
Yeah.
Because that would do it. But like, there are so many targets. He searches for backups. Because when this was initially like put up and translated, it only said forward, and I thought, it's just Light Cloud from Opus 11, but bad. But no, he's not. He's actually Light Cloud from Opus 11, but much better, because he's got so much, and there's so many decks that you can go in. Every time I've played this card, I've been massively impressed by him.
Yeah, he ticks a lot of boxes. I think DFF and crystals are massive right now. Yeah,
this is an absolute seal
of approval on that.
Definite. There it is. Absolute, definite. Paul Fallon seal of approval.
And if this could have searched materia, the game would have been busted.
Well, it would have been nice, because that's sort of really holding them back, like.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So the actual first one to talk about is Onion Knight, which we're saying that there are playable Onion Knights. He's a Onion Knight Warrior of Light. He's got haste. He's got 8k, and when he enters the field, you may pay 2 crystals, which is very easy to achieve. When you do so, search for 1 category DFF forward of cost 3 or less and play it onto the field. Deal 10k damage to the forward that blocks Onion Knight. Okay, forget the S. It's sort of rubbish. It doesn't matter anyway. But
search and play though.
Getting 2 crystals to search for Firewind Zidane and play it straight to the field. Yuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it color fixes as well, again, because you're just playing crystals. Like, you don't have to be playing wind to like play this into.
Yeah.
And you can play it. You can literally go like turn 1 Barts to search this guy and play like a crystal backup, and then immediately drop 2 crystals, play this Onion Knight, play Zidane. How disgusting is that?
Yeah.
You spent literally 6 CP on a backup and 3 8k forwards, or was it on 7k?
And that's 3 points of damage, and I've seen your hand twice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, just disgusting.
Privilege.
Like, again, it's Water Tidus. It's there's so many good targets that this can get. Like honestly,
that was my big one. Water Tidus with this. I think Fire Water. I could absolutely. I adore. I love Fire Water. I could just so see that being just crippling.
We have up next as well. We have Cloud. This is one of the first ones that was spoiled, and I thought when this was spoiled, absolutely dreadful because, it's only going to count for DFF forwards. It's sort of like the Barrett we had from Opus 20. Yeah, Opus 20. But instead of paying the 5 CP for him, you can pay 2 crystals, and when you do, you can deal something 3,000 damage for each category DFF forward you control. Now you're going to go wide. Which means you're going to have this on 3 forwards probably to deal like 9k to something, but paying 2 crystals instead of paying 5k is absolutely massive.
Or dealing 6 if you're you.
Yeah. But even so, like it is so impactful. It's so much better than it reads. It's one of those like you have to really play this in a big crystal deck to really understand how good it is. But I've been very impressed with it, and I think it's one to watch. I think
it's like the old Opus 9 Cloud. It read terribly. Like, was it remove top 10 cards?
That's Opus 8 Legend. That one.
8, yeah. Similar vibes of that, but I do agree. The stronger DFF comes, the better this will be.
Yeah, it's solid.
The DFF is sort of a category that is never going to go away because it's sort of the amalgamation of everyone. All the main characters coming. Yeah, exactly. Of all Final Fantasy. So it's always going to be a category that is going to keep coming back again and again, which is even more of a reason why that Bart's is as nutty as it is.
Well, again, the thing that enables them both as well is the Bart's and the Firion, which is blown me away with how good this card is. So 2 CP, 5k, and when Firion enters the field, choose 1 forward, deal it 3,000 damage. If you control 2 or more category DFF forwards, including himself, deal it 7,000 instead. Excellent. When a character your opponent controls is put from the field into the break zone, gain 1 crystal. So you gain a crystal from searching off of Bart's. You kill a guy by playing it, and then because of that, you gain a crystal. And every time that a guy of theirs dies, well, any characters, even if they break their own backups or monsters, any of that, you gain a crystal. So it's so good.
Yeah, I missed the character part of that, and that's actually very strong. Very, very strong.
Also secondarily searchable by Guy and Joseph.
Yeah, well, and also the what was it, Tyvan in this as well, playable off of that. Obviously, it's Brave Exvius, so you're sort of going off the beaten path of it. But like again, dead searchable, dead playable. Not a name that really matters across these things as well. Like I've been very impressed with this one.
I'm just a bit worried because I'm a big fan of the Fire Water Fidium and its DFF kind of things. But if you're needing crystals, I agree with you. I don't think you're good. I think you'll be struggling to find a better generator.
I mean, a 2 CP 5k that can kill something 7k. That's really good. That's really, really good.
Oh, yeah. Money.
We have, now moving into the ice ones, we have Shantoto. And when she enters the field, you may pay 2 crystals. And when you do so, you can choose 1 category DFF forward of cost 5 or less in your break zone and play it onto the field. Broken. For S and 1, you can choose up to 3 characters, dull them, and freeze them. Again, probably not too bothered about the S. But and obviously this is massively contested with the other DFF Shantoto, but it's pretty good still. It's definitely something that's worth trying to build with. And
I think it's the fact that it clashes with the full art that we already have is so difficult to choose. I think the other one does trump this slightly just because of the game winning potential it has, but at the same time, resurrecting. What 5 drops really are there that this wants to hit?
Wind Cecil.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
The Cloud we just mentioned.
I mean, there's so many choices.
There's the Wind Tidus in this as well, and again, you could hit Bart's to then search anything that you need.
And the fact it's 5 or less. The fact it's 5 or less.
The joy of this card is its actual S in my mind. That you could easily do a 2-to-1 ratio, and even the other Shantoto can be played from hand because it's a discard from Crystal, or you can use its S just to cripple your opponent's economy.
Do you know, that is a good point.
That is a value. Good point. That's it's in my mind. Like even if I don't have Crystal, I can go, well, you've just lost all your backups.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do agree, though, if you can walk this into a Cecil, 5CP Cecil, oh boy.
Yeah. And again, all available in the same set, which is really nice for deck building and great for new players. We have Terra, who is possibly, I think, one of the best 3CP7K or around that sort of part, Sarah from Opus 1 replacements we've ever had. Because she for 3CP7K, when she enters the field, your opponent discards 1 card. Straight up. That's great alone. If you control 2 or more DFF forwards, you also gain a crystal. And for crystal and dull, you can choose 1 forward, dull it and freeze it, and draw 1 card. Really cool.
Yeah, it seems massive that Ice are getting like that little bit of extra draw as well, which seems to be in it.
This is a solid take for like FF6 decks as well, just because like it sort of takes that place of Opus 4 Legend Lock from just getting a discard. But
yeah,
there's
Terra's name was not that contested in FF6. Really, you had the 4CP EX backup in the last recent lists. I don't hate it.
No, absolutely
I really
not. It does exactly what it says, but it's pretty good all the same. I've been really happy with everything it's tested.
Terra's tried and tested, and you're right. It's just it's just an upgrade.
Next up we have Noctis. So there's no Ice Noctis, so you know this is definitely going in things, and he is dressed to impress. You must control a DFF forward to cast Noctis. But he's a 3CP EX 9K that when he enters, choose 1 dull forward your opponent controls, break it. He's tested really well, and people have been really impressed with him so far. I'm not sure he's got the shoes for the battle, but he's been really, really good. He's trying to touch his own face.
Also searchable off of Water Sarah?
You can, but again, she's not a DFF, and you've got to control DFF forward. Again, you cast the Barts in response to your opponent's last attack. You get this, that thing dies. And he is massive. Absolutely massive. Anything good, anything bad to say from these cards, anyone?
Not just what Onion Knight could have been.
It's a bit of Ron Seal. It does exactly what it says on the tin.
Ron Seal as. Next up, we have possibly the worst one in the set, which is still pretty good, which is Warrior of Light. He is this as much as I said like Bart's. We initially thought it was bad like Cloud. This is bad Cecil, the water one from Opus 20. It's because when Warrior of Light enters Warrior of Light or a category DFF forward enters your field, gain 1 crystal. This will only trigger once per turn, and for 1 crystal, you can give himself 1,000 power. And he cannot be chosen by abilities. So differences with Cecil is that he was bigger and he could give it to anybody in category 4. This protection ability and buff isn't great. However, what really has turned me around on it is I was watching a game a few weeks ago where I think local legend Morgan was playing this, and he generated about 15 crystals just from playing this and other things. So this Warrior of Light could just attack it like 10k.
It's because like this thing doesn't seem like a threat. Like you could read it and be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I don't need to waste any removal on that. And then all of a sudden, as Morgan did, he's built up all those crystals, and it's like, oh crap, I should have dealt with that.
Yeah.
So
I think the only problem with it is that once per turn, it is only. Because the DFF deck seems to want to really splurge a lot of forwards in like a turn here and a turn there, rather than kind of play it more tempo or mid-rangey.
I mean, it's the same with Cat 4.
But yeah, don't get me wrong, I get why it's only once per turn, but I don't know how much it's going to be playing 1 forward every turn with this guy.
He's better than he reads, is what I'll say, but he's still probably the worst of them.
I mean, the closest thing to what this could be at max is Shara, but that's a tap effect, not a crystal effect. That's the only way to make it better. But that was also a legend.
Every element now has a 2CP 5k gains a crystal essentially in some way or another, which I think is quite nice. Yeah. And you're right. If you can then, this one seems to be the one that I think has the most potential to be exploited. I think.
Next up we have Cecil, who is Job Paladin, so he can be switched into from the Earth one. Cecil cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities. Pretty good. If Cecil is dealt damage by opponent's abilities, the damage becomes 0 instead. That's pretty good as well, so not even spread damage. The category DFF forwards other than Cecil you control gain 2,000 power. Also really good. And for S and 1 wind, you can choose 1 forward of course 4 or more and break it. Yeah, not bad. Not the best Cecil, and probably not anybody's, maybe not even the third choice, but not bad.
I also don't think it goes in the deck with the Earth Legend one. Because
I think this is just a DFF deck, Cecil.
No, probably right. Probably right.
Yeah, I'd agree with what's been said. I think it's going down a different line.
It's everything it does is pretty good, but it's it's probably the third or fourth choice of Cecil.
To be fair, I think this is probably worse than the Warrior of Light personally, because I think the Warrior of Light is cheap enough that it's fine. That the value it gets is sort of like mediocre.
Sure.
But this one being 4 CP is it's 4 CP and doesn't get you any immediate value is sort of like a bit disappointing. And just being untargetable by abilities like summons still do their thing is
yeah.
I don't think it's okay, but I'd play sort of 3 Warrior of Light before I'd play 3 of this Cecil, for example.
If it couldn't be chosen by summons and still then it had the abilities did 0 damage, then I'd be all over that. That'd be like the best thing.
Yeah. Last of all, we are finally here. It has been an arduous 4 hours, but we are finally at the last card, which is Tidus. 5 CP, EX Burst, category DFF and 10, Guardian and Blitzballer. When Tidus enters the field, choose 1 forward your opponent controls, return it to its owner's hand. And when a forward your opponent controls is returned to the field, return from the field to its owner's hand, draw 1 card and gain 1 crystal. This will only trigger once per turn. It doesn't say DFF in its text. No. He is generically good.
Yeah.
Nice thumbs up from him. That's a thumbs up from me as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Tidus is a very contested name, but not in wind.
Nope.
Yeah. Again, so there's definitely room for this, and especially again, bounce for essentially a 3 CP 9k. So you can draw a card in this. Well, man, that's pretty good. I'm not sure there's a wind deck that he goes in, but there's definitely a place for him, and it's one to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, I highly agree.
Last up we have the new crystal, which is really nice.
I want one.
I want one. It's so pretty.
So I think the last thing I'll do here to just finish things up is say thanks everybody for joining. And I'll say very quickly, Fish, what card are you most excited about in this set?
Neo X Death.
Very good shout on that. Dale.
The Lena myself.
Lena, I'm right with. There's 2. I'm not going to argue with either of those so far. Jacob.
It honestly, it's close. I do really like the warrior stuff, but I'm looking forward to the kind of shenanigans with the Sky Serpent General Regard Gene. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to mess around with.
Again, that's another fine choice. These are all seal cards so far. Cloutman.
BK.
Okay.
Say his name.
Bonky Kong.
Yeah, Bonky Kong.
Burger King.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Phelan.
I think I'm looking forward to trying out Odin. Just see where it sits in my decks.
I think that is another solid choice. Yeah, absolutely. And Duff, our guest for this evening, what are you looking forward to?
Monk, bye now. Bye. Give me a Balfour and Ingus any day, and I'll build you some cool lists for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I'm gonna personally say, I don't know. There's so many good choices in this, isn't there? Neo X Def is definitely up there for me. Maybe the Lightning Waft Cloud, because I'm really excited to try World of Final Fantasy out with this, and I think it'd be really cool. But I'm just going to leave it there and say everyone who's joined us in the chat for the last few hours, thanks for joining us. For everybody watching the VOD, thanks for watching. And for all of my guests here today, thanks very much. We will catch you in the next one. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.